Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's interesting to see so many amendments that, by the way the Budget Control Act parameters for reconciliation were set up, allows these ideas not to even be addressed because they're fully discretionary, not relative to mandatory programs. And that, yet again, is the case on this amendment. I really like my friend from the other side of the aisle. I just, let's make sure we're clear. USAID is under Foreign Affairs Committee jurisdiction, has nothing to do with mandatory, it has everything to do with the discretionary, and yet there's already, regardless of what you're hearing in the media, Secretary Rubio exempted from the 90-day pause on foreign aid, emergency food assistance, life-saving medicine, medical services, food, shelter assistance, as well as supplies and other costs necessary. And so this is really a moot point. It's brought up because of the desire to try to exploit something that there's nothing to exploit, because Secretary Rubio has already addressed this. But let's now shift to what we're really talking about regarding USAID, and it cannot be said enough why this is being tackled by this administration. $15.5 million for organizations like the International Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Trans, Intersex Association, and they're promoting this in Zimbabwe, El Salvador, and Lebanon at taxpayer expense under USAID. What else is USAID? $15 million for condoms to the Taliban, $11.5 for gender programming, $3.3 million for LGBT in the Caribbean through USAID, $500,000 on studying atheism in Nepal, $425,000 to help an Indonesian coffee company, multiple companies become more climate and gender friendly. Again, all through USAID. $300 million for environmental resilience in Guatemala, $270 million to organizations affiliated with George Soros, hundreds of millions that end up funding gain-of-function research in the Wuhan lab, opium production in Afghanistan, political revolution in Ukraine, $20 million for Iraqi Sesame Street. And so, look, if you talk to the average person, American taxpayer, they know this is nonsense. They already have an issue, many, with what we're spending overseas, and yet when you break what USAID is doing down even further, and the political bias that's involved in it, the people are they're throwing their hands up, hollering calf rope. And if you don't know what that is, go watch the NFR. They're saying enough. It's over, and President Trump is implementing that. And let me just say this. This isn't only under Republican ideology. Did you know in 1999, Joe Biden, the senator-ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, advocated for a merger of USAID and the State Department? Quite interesting. Did you know that Madeleine Albright advocated for the merger of USAID and the State Department during her tenure as Secretary of State under the Clinton administration? And there's something called the Bipartisan Hart-Rudman Commission recommending that USAID be fully implemented unto the State Department, and noted that development aid is not an end to itself, nor can it be successful if pursued independently of other U.S. programs and diplomatic activities. Again, this is only being brought up because they're trying to make heyday with something that, by the instructions of the way reconciliation was set up, cannot address this issue, yet it's before us, so let's make sure we get the facts straight. With that, Mr. Chairman, given my little bit of time left, Representative Stutzman has asked that I yield some time to him, if that would be allowed.
Mr. Stutzman.